Trans women in sports, a call for safety, fairness, and understanding. The debate over trans women participating in sports has ignited fierce arguments, often centered on fairness, biology, and locker room safety. But beneath the surface of these discussions lies a deeper, more human story, one of trauma, vulnerability, and the search for belonging. To truly understand the stakes, we need to shift the focus from abstract policy to the lived experiences of those at the heart of this issue, particularly trans women and gender non-conforming individuals who have faced violence and exclusion long before they step onto a playing field. The hidden trauma of school years. Imagine a boy in middle school, slight, effeminate, maybe a little quieter than the rest. He doesn't fit the mold of what's expected. His peers pick up on it and the whispers start. He's gay. He's weak. What follows isn't just bullying, it's assault. Countless reports and even more unreported cases detail how boys perceived as gay or effeminate endure horrific violence at the hands of supposedly cisgender, straight males. Forced blowjobs, forced anal penetration. Beatings in bathrooms and locker rooms where no teacher's eyes reach. These aren't isolated incidents. They're a pattern, a grim reality for many who don't conform to rigid gender norms. For these individuals, the bathroom or locker room assigned to their birth sex isn't a safe haven. It's a battleground. The fear is visceral, rooted in real experiences of violation. When they transition later in life, becoming trans women, that trauma doesn't vanish. It shapes their need for spaces where they won't be targeted again. And yet, when they seek to use women's facilities, they're met with resistance. Women don't want men in their bathrooms. The sentiment is understandable. Women, too, have valid fears of male violence. But here's the twist. The problem isn't trans women, or bi, or gay people. It's the cisgender individuals, often men, sometimes women, who perpetrate rape and assault against men, women, trans people, and children at rates far exceeding any other group. The real threat in locker rooms. The data backs this up. Studies, like those from the UCLA Williams Institute, show trans people are 4 times more likely to be victims of violent crime, including sexual assault, than cisgender people. In schools, a 2019 Harvard study found that 36% of trans and non-binary teens with restricted bathroom access reported sexual assault in the past year, far higher than rates for cisgender peers. The assailants? Overwhelmingly cisgender individuals, not trans people. The narrative that trans women pose a threat in women's spaces flips reality on its head. They're not the predators. They're the prey, fleeing the very spaces where they were once brutalized. So why force trans women into men's locker rooms where their past assailants lurk? They want to play sports too, to feel the rush of competition, the camaraderie of a team. Sports can be a lifeline, a way to reclaim agency after years of powerlessness. But locker rooms tied to birth-assigned gender become a gauntlet they must run just to step onto the field. Women's fears of men in their spaces are real, but trans women aren't men. They're women who've often suffered at men's hands more than most. A third space, solution or new problem. One proposed fix is separate facilities, bathrooms and locker rooms, just for trans and gender non-conforming athletes. It sounds logical. Boys have theirs, girls have theirs, why not a third option? It could shield trans women from the cisgender men who've hurt them and ease cisgender women's concerns about privacy. Schools and sports programs already adapt for accessibility, think wheelchair ramps or family restrooms. Why not this? But here's the catch, predators adapt too. Cisgender individuals, male or female, could feign a queer identity to access these spaces, targeting victims of any gender. It's happened before. In 2017, a cisgender woman, Michelle Martinez, assaulted a girl in a private home, not a public bathroom, yet the case was twisted to vilify trans bathroom access. The real issue isn't trans people. It's those who exploit any system, cisgender assailants who've always been the primary threat. Fairness on the field beyond safety, there's the question of competition. Critics argue trans women, assigned male at birth, retain physical advantages, muscle mass, bone density, even after hormone therapy. Some data supports this. A 2004 study showed trans women's muscle mass drops after a year of testosterone suppression, but may not fully align with cisgender women's. Yet, sports already accommodate natural variation. A 6'5" cisgender woman towers over a 5'2" opponent. Should we ban height? Elite trans athletes like Laurel Hubbard and Leah Thomas have competed without dominating, suggesting the advantage is overstated. The International Olympic Committee and NCAA have guidelines, hormone levels, transition timelines, to level the playing field. It's not perfect, but it's a start. Women no man would challenge, and a new way to play. Let's flip the script entirely. There are women, cis and trans, whose prowess leaves no man daring to step up. Think of Serena Williams, whose serve clocks in at 128 mph, or Ronda Rousey, who'd snap an arm before most guys could blink. Trans or not, some women are forces of nature no one sane would challenge. So why cling to gender divisions at all? Maybe sports should evolve, go unisex and split by weight class like wrestling or boxing. A 150-pound trans woman versus a 150-pound cis man or woman isn't about chromosomes. It's about skill, training, and heart. Weight classes already account for size and strength disparities. Why not make them the standard? It sidesteps the biology debate and focuses on what sports should be, a test of ability, not identity. A path forward. Trans women in sports aren't the problem. They're caught in a crossfire of fear and misunderstanding. Cisgender violence against trans people, women, and children is the real enemy. Separate facilities could work if enforced with care, but they're not a cure-all. A unisex weight class system might be bolder, fairer, letting everyone compete without the baggage of gendered spaces. Add better supervision, private changing options, and education about who the real threats are, and we're closer to a solution. Cisgender athletes, especially women, could lead the charge, standing with trans teammates against a shared foe, the predators who've haunted us all. Trans women deserve to play, to belong, without reliving their nightmares. The game should be about joy, not survival. Let's stop punishing the vulnerable and start targeting the true culprits. That's where the fight belongs. By Scott Young, aka Sinfamous Gamer.